Hello gaming, my name is Nico Wells and today I'm going to be reviewing an over-the-top tower defense called Over-the-Top Tower Defense. Over-the-Top Tower Defense is an over-the-top tower defense. That's it. The end. Alright. But it really is a clear summary of what the game is. The only other thing I might add is that it's bloody brilliant. Surprise Attack, the publisher behind Screen Cheat, teamed up with developer SMG Studio to make this little gem originally for the mobile market, but a revamped version was recently released on Steam, so now's a good time to see how it stacks up on the new platform, and whether it's something you want overall. As an opening statement to the game feel, be prepared for wacky. You take command of Hero Corp, an organisation that aims to relieve the shortage of work for soldiers by preemptively defending the Earth from all sorts of monsters they keep opening dimensional rifts to. Everything about this title refuses to take itself seriously, and yet it also provides a stupendously entertaining and satisfying experience for people who may either be new to, or familiar with but somewhat bored and jaded with the tower defense genre, as I have been. When I heard that this was a port from mobile, I was worried gameplay would not be up to scratch, but I have to say, it still feels quite engaging. Click and drag controls like what would be used on a touchscreen exist, but you can scroll them out with arrow keys or WAS and D, which actually feels quite good. From there, general tower defense mechanics apply. Different types of towers, different damage types, in this case impact, energy and fire, upgrades, different enemy types with different resistances and behaviours, etc, etc. But there are a few changes. Firstly, you're only given specific zones where you can place towers, which isn't uncommon in this genre, but worth mentioning. It helps tightly define zones and synergy between towers, but can sometimes feel like you're spread a bit thin on your coverage. This is alleviated somewhat by the introduction of heroes. Boasting 7 different classes, beginning with the engineer and unlocking the rest, heroes have a set of abilities and varying power sets. Heroes can move across the map in a point-and-click manner akin to MOBAs or real-time strategy, can activate various abilities and attack enemies with different equipable weapons which do the same types of damage as towers. The way you activate powers feels a bit like an artifact of the touch platform, with it being set up all the way on the left, but it's not distracting from the way you would game on PC. Some hotkeys might be nice though. The heroes themselves act somewhat like movable towers. They don't attack specific enemies like in RTS, but they attack enemies that come into attack range. This has led to a few weird moments where I instinctively click on an enemy and my hero runs forward to that location instead of setting up where they need to be, but that's more a result of me being out of practice with tower defense, not a real problem with the design. Another area this game shines in is the enemies, which are quite distinct, humorous and fun to take down. I'm also amazed at the quality of writing put into this title, with brilliant references, satire and subversions. Couple this with some TF2 level stylized voice acting, and you have a winner. The characters are definite stereotypes, but their dialogue isn't yet on the level of cringeworthy, and they say just enough that they don't repeat their lines too often, and when they do, they don't last long enough to annoy you. The heroes, as mentioned before, can be kitted up with different weapons, armor, abilities, etc, and have experience points and skill trees. The powers feel really meaningful and that can make a huge difference with what heroes and thus abilities you take with you on a mission. The heroes, like the towers, have a health bar, and if they die they will be unavailable for the rest of the mission and until some time afterwards. Here we can see the remnants of the mobile platform, as in-app purchases were a significant part of the game from my knowledge. Here you could pay to speed up the cloning process or wait for the allotted time. In the PC version you can spend whatever these are to do so, as you can with weapons, armors and other upgrades, which can thankfully be earned in-game. And that transitions us pretty smoothly to pricing. Over-the-Top Tower Defense is priced at about $10 US on Steam, which I have to say is actually quite reasonable. With the mobile version available for $3 with in-app purchases, the updated PC version asks a reasonable amount to avoid that baloney. If you're looking for a good time killer with engaging gameplay, a wicked sense of humour, and enough content to keep you for quite a few hours, I'd recommend giving this a look on one of its platforms. The question is which? I'm always a bit harsh on mobile ports, but I do have to say that this one is executed really well. In-app purchases are a deal breaker for some, but really not for others. So if you fall into the latter category, I'd probably say that Over-the-Top Tower Defense is a humble little game your PC wants, but considering how hard it can be to find good, cheap mobile apps, it could be something your portable device needs. Extra content abounds in the PC version, but don't count on it giving your supercomputer a workout.